All right, so the third factor is about confidence, and it's basically to leave their shyness away. Everyone knows that at one point, whatever in social interactions or whatnot, we all get shy to talk to one person or another, or to at least make some type of interaction. To make sense. If we drink alcohol, that shyness kind of goes away, and then you start to be more confident. That's kind of the reason why that's what kind of the reasons why people tend to drink because of that. So the fourth one is taste. A lot of people love the taste. My brother, anytime he wants me to be like drinking alcohol for whatever reason, he tells me that he didn't really like the taste of beer. I think like Bud Light and such, but eventually he got used to it, and he says that it tastes like water to him, and now he kind of likes it, and he kind of like likes to drink it, and it's fine. The only problem with it is if you like the taste of it, it could be a form of alcoholism, or you can be alcoholic, if that makes sense, and that could be a really huge problem. And we're gonna find out. I'm gonna tell you some solutions to fix it. Okay, and then the last one, which is enhancement, I would say the most dangerous besides taste, because not everyone likes the taste, obviously, but enhancement, it's essentially like having the feels, like when you're under alcohol. Like you love the feeling. Some people actually love the feeling, believe it or not, which I find shocking. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I simply don't like the woozy. I've only felt it like once, and I don't like it, so I'm not a huge alcohol drinker. But the enhancements, it just, to some people, because they like the feeling of it, they tend to feel happy and similar feelings to happiness and stuff, and I just find it personally a little weird. I don't know. I know it's not about feeling, but whoa. Okay, and then we can start going down. So the four types of drinkers, which we're gonna get into. So there, I like to put it as the more below, the more like harmful it is, I would say. So binge drinking, it's essentially just drinking four times, at least four times or four plus on occasion. Heavy drinking is essentially just drinking 8 times a week or more. Underage drinking is when, depending on your country, if you have laws stating that you can drink alcohol, I would say, it's like, for the U.S., it's like anyone under the age of 21 drinking alcohol, essentially. And then pregnancy drinking is essentially when someone is pregnant, and then they just drink, which is really bad. Okay, so masculinity and peer pressure influence on men. So here's another. Okay, so I talked about how alcohol can be used as a celebratory, oh my god, celebratory beverage, and you can drink on holidays, religious reasons, whatever, and how I mentioned the five dimensions. Another factor is peer pressure, sensation seeking, and masculinity, specifically toxic and traditional masculinity. I say traditional because not every toxic masculinity is, or not every traditional masculinity is toxic, but it can be bad because it can turn you into an alcoholic, as such. So we know for a fact that men are the leading genders that drink when it comes between men and women. We know that our forefathers, our fathers, our grandparents, or specifically my grandfather and everyone else's grandfathers, drank at one point where they were kind of alcoholics. Um, they don't have to be alcoholics, but we know that at one point they drank more than women, we would say, and because of it, it kind of leads to this factor that, oh hey, because we drink, other men also tend have to drink, and that's kind of where we get those movies like 21 Jump Street or X Factor or X Project, and because men want to drink, men want to be all this cool stuff. Because men for centuries, and decades on and from now on, have been seen like as resilient, invincible, strong minded, strong, and so because of it, they had to be like the leaders of the world. And a lot of religious views see men as these leaders, so therefore, if they can be sober and drink, if that makes sense. Like, oh, that they deserve it, if that makes sense. And because of it, it kind of leaves this like toxic mindset on men that we should that we should start drinking for whatever reason, as I stated below, and how I'm gonna state again. Sensation seeking. I kind of talked about it with the enhancements on the 5 dimensions, but it's essentially just wanting to feel the thrills, and later on we're gonna see why that's important. Unless it's the other one. Okay, so 3. How bad is alcohol? Why is excessive alcohol consumption awareness important? Okay, so to get started on it, let's say the ZT laws. If you're unfamiliar what ZT laws are, essentially they stand for zero tolerance laws. It essentially means, okay, so to give you a backstory of why this was created, um, a lot of teenagers specifically, because before, and like around the 1970s, 18 years and older can drink alcohol. And the thing is, a lot of 18-year-olds, they were drinking so much to the point where they were drinking and driving, and they were doing it recklessly. And because of it, it was so bad that they had to literally put a law. That's why ZT laws were created. And if your blood alcohol level, BAC, is at 0.02% or higher, you would pretty much get your license away, and you'll basically get a DUI and such. That's under driving. But if you're a minor, it could technically be on the parents' fault. It on certain states at least. So some people actually did. This one professor did research on ZT laws, and he said that it's actually a lot. It's a way better because it led to, like, in their middle ages, when you're in middle age and you didn't drink as much alcohol or to no alcohol, then your cognitive and physical limitation, like your physical and cognitive abilities are not limited anymore. It'll still be up there, but it'll be far more, if that makes sense. Okay, the criminal engagement. So remember earlier how I talked about sensation seekers and how it could be a bad thing because they like the thrill of it. Well, some people like the thrill of breaking laws, and it's not just alcohol. Like, it's not just minors drinking alcohol because it goes against their parents' rules or against the laws, the U.S. laws or the state's laws. But people just like the thrill of breaking rules, or people just like, essentially, that's what I mean. That's kind of what's part of the sensation seekers. And and when they're under the influence of alcohol, once alcohol kind of takes over and you're kind of feeling all woozy and you start to say a lot of weird stuff, um, there could be 4 crimes that they commit under the influence, simply because they want to break laws and such, as I said before. So, light assault, aggravated assault, vandalism, and theft. You can view the definitions, but the light assault is essentially like little to no touching. They'll just basically talk and kind of stuff like that. Aggravated assault is when you really start to fight or when you really start to use guns or weapons. Theft is stealing, as we can see. And vandalism is like when you're damaging or destroying property that isn't yours. That's like private or public. It's worse if it's public or private. Sorry, apparently. Okay, so and then we know that because we talked about how men are kind of like the leading cause of all of this, right? Well, we know that this. Okay, so because their mental health is in the front line, we know that suicides and depression is like a really huge thing, and men are more, when you're drinking, men are more likely to commit suicide. Men are 2.5 times more likely to be depressed. And then men's emotions are also in the front lines. And then when humans start to drink, a lot of the organs start to kind of not fail but not really work as much. So you can view the thing, but to give you an example, for your cardiovascular, you get high strokes. You're more likely to get high strokes and high blood pressure. For digestive, you're likely to get liver fibrosis, and for immune system, you tend to get more diseases because technically your alcohol kind of attacks your immune system and it weakens it. 4. What's the solution? What do we do? AA meetings or therapy? So I have some therapy strategies for whatever toxic masculinity is in the way. So So let's say you have someone that's really an alcoholic, but and you're not, but you want to stay off. You can either cut them off, or you can tell them, or you can go in secrecy to therapy. AA meetings also work because there's AA meetings based on alcohol, based on drug abuse, and such and such. So it's really okay. You can take any path, just as long as you're comfortable and you know that you want to take the next step to hopefully do things. Okay, and then now we get to the conclusion, which is the final part. So, because all of this is from the standpoint of teenagers being curious, whatever they want to drink, or because their peers are drinking, so therefore they also want to drink. I would say take responsibility. Like, I feel like teens are kind of misguided among with social media and all. They We know with the rise of no literacy and with the rise of red pill content that we see online, and so because their parents or guardians are not really teaching them, I feel like that's kind of the best part. Like, I feel like parents and guardians should really teach children, or not children, teens, that they should drink responsibility. Like, I feel like if I had a child, I would let my child drink, but only responsible. Like, maybe start not don't start at an early age. Maybe start like at 16 and be like, okay, here, drink a little bit, and that's about it. Like, teach them, hey, it's not. You can either say it's nasty or drink responsible. Say that I'm here and I'm not here to judge. We listen, but we don't judge. Like that one term that's on TikTok. Um, yeah, just make sure that they, and also teach them that the consequences of drinking alcohol, whatever it does to your body, your brain, and all that stuff. Okay, and then this is my works cited, which is this final and sixth. I would like to thank Beyonce and everyone. I would like to thank my teachers. So this is my works cited. Okay, thank you everyone.